wake up, check your feed, a breaking headline, a new video, something urgent, something important, something you should probably care about. But by the time you click it, there's already something else. We don't suffer from a lack of information. We suffer from an overload of it. And the more we consume, the harder it gets to know what's real. Most people don't notice when they're being nudged, especially when the nudge is convenient and feels like a choice. This is the illusion of knowing. Information does not equal knowledge. Information used to be rare, expensive to find, hard to distribute. Now, we carry the Library of Alexandria in our pockets, and still, we don't agree on anything. That's not a failure of intelligence. It's a capture of our truth and meaning-making apparatuses. The modern-day brokers of information are all bought and paid for. Truth hasn't disappeared. It's just buried under a pile of carefully shaped noise. Case Study 1, the lab leak. In early 2020, the idea that COVID might have leaked from a lab, specifically the Wuhan Institute of Virology, was labeled a conspiracy theory, banned on platforms, mocked by the press. Experts dismissed it outright. They even said it was racist, but then, quietly, something shifted. By mid-2021, that same idea was suddenly plausible, respected, discussable. The evidence hadn't radically changed, but the narrative permission had. What was once unspeakable became mainstream. That shift didn't happen because of new science. It happened because there was a new president, and the social risk of admitting it dropped. The facts didn't move. The media did. The frame did. Case Study 2, the Twitter Files. In late 2022, a series of internal documents from Twitter were released. They showed exactly what many had suspected. Platform moderation was coordinated, sometimes directly with government agencies. Journalists were shadow banned. Doctors were suppressed. Search results were shaped behind the scenes. This wasn't speculation. It was documented, verified, archived. The FBI was telling Twitter what ideas the public were allowed to see and who was allowed to talk about them. And yet, it barely registered. No major outlets picked it up. No mass protest followed. Why? Because the story was too big, too tangled, too politically inconvenient for those who control the means of spreading information. The truth was there, but it didn't go viral. In a noisy system, even exposure doesn't guarantee attention. Sometimes, the clearest revelations sink without a sound. Case Study 3, the war footage game. In every modern conflict, Ukraine, Gaza, Syria, the information war is as real as the physical one. Clips fly across the internet. Soldiers, tanks, explosions, gunfire, people's homes. But pause and look closer. Much of what circulates is repackaged. Old footage, mismatched subtitles, fake locations, fabricated timelines. A missile strike from 2015 becomes breaking news in 2024. A video game clip gets passed off as combat. And in the chaos, even people trying to understand are pulled in by edits, filters, hashtags. Because speed wins, emotion wins. Clicks win. Accuracy doesn't stand a chance. These aren't isolated mistakes. They're systemic outcomes. Platforms optimize for engagement. So, to spread your narrative, you don't need to prove anything. You just need it to be available and engaging. And so we scroll, react, share, forget. We live in a world where everyone has access to the truth, but almost no one can see it, because what we're seeing isn't reality. It's a curated feed, one designed to keep us scrolling, not thinking. There's a particular kind of blindness that comes with information abundance. The illusion that because we've seen something, we understand it. But exposure isn't comprehension. Familiarity isn't knowledge. And the danger isn't just ignorance. It's false confidence. That's how entire societies drift into delusion, not because they lack data, but because they mistake noise for signal. The collapse of objectivity doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, through 1,000 unexamined assumptions. The information age has made it all too easy for sophistry to flourish. There seems to be conflicting evidence, conflicting narratives for any and every argument or topic. So, someone with an ulterior motive can pick and choose the facts that are most convenient and cast doubt on, or ignore, or censor the inconvenient truths. Vault theory exists because truth matters. In a world this loud, we don't need more information. We need better filters, better frameworks, a way to see what's actually there. That's the mission, to cut through the chaos, not with emotion, not with certainty, but with precision. We don't pretend to have every answer, but we know what the real questions are. And we're going to keep asking them. Next time on Vault Theory, we go deeper to the moment meaning itself was declared optional. Episode 4, The Death of Meaning, How Postmodernism Broke Reality. This is Vault Theory. Subscribe. Escape the noise.